what a better way to cap this inaugural show off with a
Mm,
couple trades, man. Got a
mm,
couple trades we want to get to. We want to say the best for last, but first I want to start with Kristaps Porzingis being traded to the Celtics, and then it almost turned into a CP3 situation where it was like, oh, niggas was hyped for 2 hours, and then it didn't happen because it fell apart. But
yeah,
then it got back together,
yeah,
and now Kristaps Porzingis is officially in Boston. He's the Celtic now. So
yeah.
I wanna know what what you think about this.
It's perfect for all teams involved. A lot of times it's usually when you make trades, it's hard to make a fair trade when it comes to
Yeah.
certain players that's involved in it.
Somebody's going to lose. You have to.
Somebody's going to lose
You
something.
gotta lose a battle if you want to win a war. You have to.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
with KP, it's sorely needed in Boston.
Yeah.
With Horford getting older, he's still very valuable. I don't want to get that fucked up, but he's getting older. He can't defend as much as he used to, but he's playing his ass off. Again, he is. Tom Lord is still unhealthy. Um, and they don't have no stretch bigs. So you bringing in a player who's pretty much kind of along their timeline too, because Kristaps is still relatively young, and he's fucking 7'5" right? And he's a deep shot blocker, and he can stretch the floor. And that's a problem when you have to worry about somebody like that, and you have Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. Um, and a lot of people, and I get it with Marcus Smart, he's the heart and soul of the team, but it was a necessary evil. And because I like Marcus Smart, but he's a gift and a curse type of player. You know what I mean? You live by him, you die by him. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times
Yeah.
that hindered Boston more than people wants to admit. Um, so I think that they made it a necessity trade for what they needed, and then while also getting 2 first round picks in the process is kind of a come up. You know what I mean? They won that trade in my opinion. And then with Washington, um, Tyus Jones has been waiting to break out and finally get his chance. And with him and Poole together, I think that they're going to grow together to be something special eventually in time. And then
Yeah.
Marcus Smart, pretty much gives you, the version of Dylan Brooks in Memphis that takes showers. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And then just even going a little bit more deeper into that, what I'm saying? Like he not gonna come to the train test out with the jean vest. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
He might come. Yeah, I don't know though, man. Marcus Smart look like he got a wild wardrobe though,
He
B.
gonna have, he
I ain't
gonna have
gonna
the
lie.
powder blue hair though. He got the grizzly blue hair,
He
but
gonna
he
have
ain't.
to listen. He got a grizzly blue hair. I think he probably gonna rock the grizzly cut in his hair at some point. You know what I mean? Because he was
Nah,
dyeing his hair
absolutely,
green and all that. So I think he
absolutely.
definitely gonna be on that type time
But it's
for
like I
sure.
said, with him going there, it's a repeat of history. You look at even going deeper into that, Oklahoma State alumni, Memphis getting back to the grit and grind history. You know what I mean? It's Tony Allen all over.
Yeah, I was about to say Tony Allen. Yeah, that's an easy. Yeah,
So
100%.
they
Grit and grind player, bro. That's just with it. No haircut, grit and grind, lunch pail, and then
yeah,
that lunch
get
pail
the
is a
job done.
fucking. It's not even lunch. This is an iPod with like state property music on it. It's not
Nah,
even like
that ass
food
though.
in there.
I mean, and she got the crack screen and all that.
Yeah, it's a 211 in there. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Okay.
even like a he on a liquid diet, but it's 211. You know what I mean? Still reserve joint and all that. But I mean, but I like it. I like it for Boston only because it's like I feel like he's gonna be what they thought Gordon Hayward would have been for them, as far as like just an easy tool that's like right there with that little, 15 footer, 13 to 15 footer, kind of like this is a 2 point we can count on, kind of maybe every time down the court, or like 7 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Maybe when he's on the court. So I like that for them a lot. Um, I do think Kristaps Porzingis is just a situation where he gives a fuck away from like being more productive and more,
No, absolutely.
I'm saying, more of a contributor to like winning basketball. You get what
I
I'm
think
saying?
I think Boston is gonna be the absolute, you know, ideal situation for him so far in his
And it's
career.
crazy for a nigga that started off with like the Knicks. So like
But he
that's
he
kind of
went
crazy.
through a lot with the Knicks. You know what I
He
mean?
did. He did.
I've seen it personally myself. You know what I
He
mean?
popped off too quick. I think he became a star too quick for the
Yeah,
New York media and the fans to like really give him a fair shot, because like you New York native, like what's
yeah,
going on.
yeah,
And And when you pop off too quick as a New York star, they expect a lot more from
Oh
you.
yeah, it has to continue.
Yeah, it has to go
I
in.
mean,
And so it's like when he just kind of leveled out, I don't think his floor was high enough for New York fans to tolerate. They New York fans, I think, are in love with the ceiling. I don't think they really necessarily care about the floor overall.
I agree.
Some of them do, but I don't think they care about the floor as much as they care about like why aren't you reaching the ceiling right now? You
I
know what I'm
agree.
saying?
I agree.
But we got another trade,
Mhm.
and this was I thought was very funny and poetic to me personally. Was the Golden State Warriors trading, Jordan Poole.
Mhm.
Somebody else was in that deal. Whatever. Like this is our show. We can do what we want. We can say what we want. Jordan Poole was in that deal. I don't know what else was in that deal.
Mhm.
And he ended up in DC.
Mhm.
DC, man. DC is ready for us.
Peace.
And Chris Paul ended up in Golden State. And the first thing I said when I texted chat was Cliff got to bend the knee because
Nah,
we've
that's
we
pretty
look at
wild.
all time and we talking about point guards and who's the greats and who's this and and I'm very vocal about regardless of how you feel about Chris Paul personally as a person. When it comes to that basketball court, he's the reincarnation of Isaiah Thomas with like a better overall like feel for the game. I think you know what I'm saying. Like than Zeke, I'm putting him over Zeke. I'm not like running away from that.
Yeah,
And it's no disrespect to Zeke. I just think that Chris Paul did what he was supposed to do. You're supposed to follow the blueprints of the greats and make it better. And that's just what he did. Like, if you're a basketball fan, you should appreciate that. But all these years we've been looking at him, we look at Steph Curry, we look at, all these other point guards. And a lot of times it's like, it's a battle. It's a test.
Mhm.
For you to get traded to this man's team after he's just coming off of being a defending champ, basically, you gotta bend the knee, bro. This is Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is bad. You have to bend the knee. Like there's no, and this ain't no like shot or whatever. This is just a fact. You gotta bend the knee when you go in that locker room.
Yeah,
You don't walk into that like when you walk into any other locker room in the league. You're Chris Paul, the point guard.
that's
Everybody
it,
bow down. I'm the leader. This is what it is. This is what I do. When you walk into Golden State, they're gonna say, "Hey, don't sneeze that loud. Steph is here.
son.
Let's be
Listen,
real."
that nigga. Remember Media Man? Golden Lords. That nigga with the Golden Lords. He definitely got to bend the knee. He got to bend the knee to the Golden Lords.
Go get you a turtleneck right now.
You got to get the black turtleneck and
Right
shit,
now.
bro, because no, I mean it's like you had a great way to say it. It's very poetic, man. Like
Yeah.
like God could be a funny nigga sometime, bro, because it's like they went to battle so many times and Steph has bested him, and it's like now it's like, and especially because Chris worked, he helped work on that trade, so he
Yep.
really did in a sense bend the knee, like nigga, get me over here,
Yeah, 100%.
and
I mean, I guess I'll go over there.
it's very interesting to see what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? If they're gonna be that bold and say, fuck it, you starting, and Steph is just gonna go ridiculously off ball. Or if they're gonna be like,
That's
just
gonna
come
be
off the
tough.
bench, but you're gonna close this game and Steph off ball. And
I
he's
ain't
gonna
gonna
run the
lie.
offense. And
That
and,
might.
and, and it's
Oof.
even more so, how does he catch up with that offense? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
C is a, pause, 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 pause. He likes to palm. You know what I'm saying? So he'll palm shot the ball, pause, 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 for like 30 seconds. You know what I mean? He's gonna use the shot clock. So it's interesting to see how Kerr's gonna implement him, especially at this age. He's 38 years old. You know what I mean? How's he gonna get along with that offense?
You know what I think though, Just, and I'm gonna be real with you.
Mhm.
I think that Chris Paul can adjust to any NBA offense because he knows the golden rule. I
Mhm.
just have to come down and get a bucket, and nobody in the league is better at drawing the foul than Chris Paul.
Nah, I agree.
There's nobody in the league. The only person that's second to him is probably Trey Young. I
Dame
would
is
say
better.
Chris Paul. Yeah, Chris Paul, Trey. But Dame, I feel like does it a little. Maybe he's tricking me because I just like Dame and I like that I like how he rap and shit like that too. So maybe he's tricking me. Maybe I'm biased. But I just feel like Chris Paul and Trey Young do it. You remember when Pac was like, "Yeah, you made a G a day, but you made it in a sleazy way." I feel like they making that G a day in a sleazy way, and Dame not.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I'm
See,
saying? So, but I
he's
get it. It's
happy as
still a
hell.
G. When
See,
you go pay
right.
for your
Well, nah, I
food, they
still
ain't gonna
think
ask you
that's
where you
that.
got the
Right.
money
Somebody
from.
gonna
They
be
gonna
like,
ask
oh
you, do you
damn, my
got
nigga,
it?
like Like he was
Yeah.
out here selling K2 for this, my nigga. I don't want this.
Yeah. So I'm with it. I get it. I understand.
Send
I'm
that in.
just saying that I think that Chris Paul will bring a level of maybe like I don't even want to say intensity because I think that Golden State team is pretty intense, but he might bring a sense of like damn, I don't even know the right word to use for him, man. But it's gonna be a little bit intense when it comes down to crunch time
Well,
because he's
so
gonna be able to draw a foul.
I think
I
I
think
know
that
the word.
he's gonna make Golden State more hateable if that's possible.
So for me, in terms of, and I could be wrong, but I think not necessarily the word you was looking for, but in terms of just in general, I think what he brings to Golden State is a sense of calm.
Yeah, see, and see, and maybe that's what I was going for was the
Yeah,
opposite of what I actually said, is because he got something in him where it's like, hey, it's cool, we got it. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Even though they're champions, he's not. There's a certain way that he plays the game that they don't.
right.
That he can be like, hey, hold on, just wait. Let's
I
look at this
and,
right here.
and if and just being honest, you know what I mean. This is just being real. You watch enough basketball, especially Golden State. With them, they're not that good in close game situations. And
You being generous. Not even they're not that good. They're
all
usually
right, you're right. Fuck it.
horrible.
Them niggas is
And
ass in
and,
close
and
games.
that's and that's kind of what I'm talking about. That's the reason why I kind of got hung up on the word intense because in close situations, I think they might be new. It might be like when a girl get out of a relationship and then she get with a dude that know the difference between there, and there, and she like, oh shit,
I ain't
oh
never
you do
experienced no shit
exist.
like this before. You know that there's an I after the E?
You know what an apostrophe is? Oh, whoa, condom, no condom. You know what I'm saying? Like it
No
might be
condom.
like that.
Nah,
Chris
dead ass.
Paul is the no condom stage for
I
Golden
agree.
State. That's what he is. He's the one where you like, you know what? I finally trust this dude enough to where we can just go condomless.
So
Maybe
crazy.
that's
Nigga
what
on
he
Monday,
is.
nigga with Vince McMahon on Monday Night Raw, B. You feel me? But
Raw is
I do
war.
think that he's gonna bring it up. Like Steph is Steph in all his greatness. He's just not meant to be, especially in those close moments at the end of games with the ball in his hand.
Yeah, and
You know
I
what I mean?
mean,
In
and
terms
shit.
of trying to make a
And
play.
let's be real.
You know what I'm
If I
saying?
did as much in the league as Steph did, or like LeBron, even
Yeah, yeah.
what the fuck you mean? I'm supposed to close the game
Nah,
too?
that
No,
ass.
I did enough.
Help me,
No,
nigga.
I'm not doing what you mean. So I'm supposed to get to the event, seat everybody, host the show,
Right.
perform in the show, close the show, and then clean up the
Clean up after.
popcorn under the seat.
Nah, that's a lot.
No, you mean one of y'all can't clean the popcorn up under the seat? Can anybody clean the popcorn up under the seat?
Absolutely.
You can? Cool, thank you. Do
Right.
that then.
And that's the point I'm making.
You know what I'm
Does not
saying?
have to do all of that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you don't know what Clay you get in. You know what I'm saying?
And I love Clay too,
And I
man.
love Clay to death. But I
Love
mean,
him.
don't know what he's getting, and if he ain't hitting, it's a wrap because the nigga dribble like Bob Cousy. So you know what I'm saying? His ball handling is like 45 and 2K.
Nah, he's smoking Bob Cousy. Don't play with Clay like that, please, man.
Nah,
You burning
but
Bob.
but I
Bob
think
out of here.
I do think that at end of game situations, life is gonna be very easier, especially being
Yeah.
at CP is somebody who does like to slow down the tempo.
The ref's gonna look at him and be like, all right, Cliff, go ahead.
You know what I mean? Come on. And
Okay.
you know what's so crazy though? Now that we're gonna real quick, we're gonna get into that real quick. But two things. One, Golden State has a hard time because they're so used to playing up tempo. So when the game slows down, they have a problem.
Yeah.
So with Chris Paul, he's like, listen, Steph, go ahead, you go ahead, da da da. He's gonna orchestrate.
Yeah, I got you.
I think the craziest thing that you just mentioned though is like refs are gonna be so conflicted on how to referee them niggas now because they hate Cliff but love Steph.
It's
So
nothing you can do. You know what you do in that situation? You go with the one you love.
right,
When it's somebody you love and somebody you hate, because they're not the opposite. They exist
right.
on the same energy level. Apathy is the opposite. It's not hate. So they're like, fuck. Do I hate Chris Paul more than I love Steph? No, it's not possible. You don't.
Right.
You don't.
To that unnecessary fouling.
Yeah. So now when we get down to the playoffs, yeah, Steph is out there. That's Steph team. Go ahead, get that man that foul.
And I'm interested to see.
Give me the first Scott Foster game.
Yeah,
with Chris Paul as a Golden State Warrior. Give me
just
that
so
one.
we can see what the energy is.
Yeah, give me that one.
No, I mean, but I do think that I don't think that Golden State is done. I think that is another move coming.
Yeah. This summer is gonna be
to see what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
especially if Chris Paul can come off the bench. You know, I mean, that's insane depth for one. But
It's crazy.
if they add some more pieces around what they already have, and if they get Dre back, you just never know. Chris Paul being like a fucking eighth option is really crazy.
It
You know,
really is. In the year of our Lord 2023, man.
know what I mean? So
It's wild.
it's gonna be interesting in GS. You know what I mean? It's gonna be interesting around the league period. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams about to bust a lot of moves because this new CBA got a lot of people under pressure.